Welcome everyone to the next installment of A Look Into. And today we are finally looking at God of War, a game that literally took the world by storm and made Xbox fanboys pissed about console exclusivity. I would even say that this is the game that started the whole debate on, are exclusives really good for video games? But with the sale numbers and it stealing Game of the Year from Red Dead Redemption 2, I guess it means a game being only on one console can still make a buck. I can't actually believe we are actually covering this. I mean, I don't even have the game, but if this is what the boys want me to cover, I will do my best. So, this is a look into God of War. What?
Hold up, my guy.
Not the right game.
You're
doing
this game.
Please, look at the script again.
Oh, okay.
You don't even own God of War.
Oh. Sorry, let's try this again. Welcome everyone to the next installment of A Look Into, and today we're going to be looking at one of the most popular free-to-play games, Warframe, a future looter shooter with the most interesting looking characters. Warframe was
Juby.
What now?
Juby.
That is not the game either.
Oh my Jesus.
Games don't even look the same.
My guy, are you dumb?
Yeah,
Okay.
holy.
All right. Let me look again. The fuck is a Godfall?
I'm
Glad
so
you
glad
asked.
you're at. This
Is a look into
Godfall.
Developed by Counterplay Games and published by Gearbox, Godfall had quite a big hype around its release time, especially on PlayStation, as this was a PS5 launch exclusive, but was also available on PC via Epic Games Store.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
While this game would come out on all platforms a year later with Ultimate Edition, it quickly died down in popularity. Which is not to say that this game is bad at all. This gameplay is addicting, but it does fall short when it comes to the story. It's very generic. But the reason for the confusion in the beginning of this video is because the gameplay feels very God of War. There is stuff that seems to reference it in design styles, and with its unique look and the type of game it is, you get the vibes that this is basically what Warframe would be if you had to pay up front. I'm going to look into Godfall and see what happened and see why this game is no longer being talked about, as me and my friends really enjoyed this game and the grind.
We were warriors, but he turned us against each other. Brother against brother.
As I mentioned before, the story is extremely basic. Macros, your brother, wants to become a god, and you, Orin, the king of the land, are in his way. Macros defeats you in the beginning, but you aren't about to sit there and let him continue on. With your two allies, Rihanna and Saurus, you set off to activate the Seventh Sanctum and get yourself a Godsmith to help aid you in defeating Macros and all his lieutenants in all the realms. The story will only take you through the first few realms: Earth, Water, and Air. All other areas are either DLC or endgame content. These areas and this game in general just look so beautiful and was made in Unreal Engine 4. The armor designs look amazing and unique, each realm looks different, and honestly, it's really fun to explore. I love this universe and wish we had more and wish we got to see more of it. Honestly, the story out of all my friends only had me interested in what was going on, but all my friends skipped cutscenes as soon as they could. I would say I enjoyed it, but it is a basic revenge story. The gameplay is really what kept my friends and I going hard. I could literally double this for a look into God of War 2018 video if I wanted to, because the combat is really similar. Godfall focuses on melee weapons with range options. There are only 5 different weapon types in Godfall, sadly. A polearm, dual daggers, greatsword, longsword, and warhammer. But these weapons are also beautifully crafted in gameplay, that they all play different and are all very addicting. I found myself quite fond of the long swords, being decent at everything, great sword for slamming down on enemies and breaking their barriers, and dual daggers if I felt like spamming the light attack button. The armor in this game are called Valor Plates, and each one has different abilities that can aid you in your quest. One will allow you to summon spirit minions to help you in combat, one will make you uninterruptible, and one will make you do an AoE attack dealing a specific elemental damage all around you. It gives you incentive to play each type of Valor Plate, and you can carry all your gear and skills from one Valor Plate to another. Or you can rebuild your skills and weapons for a specific playstyle for each Valor Plate. Boss fights in this game are awesome. I wouldn't put them on Dark Souls level difficulty, except for at an endgame, because holy shit, I'm struggling. But on your own and sometimes with friends, it can be difficult. Once a boss is unlocked for a mission, they also unlock hunt missions, which if you kill the boss's little captains or animals, the boss will be a little easier to beat. If you don't do the hunt missions, you will have banes, basically penalties, against you while fighting the bosses. While all bosses kept my attention, only 3 during the campaign and 1 during the DLC campaign really made me irritated. For best experience with the bosses, I beat all of them solo to get the best review I could when it came to these bosses. Godfall is a looter RPG game, so of course that means loot is everywhere and chests are scattered throughout the world. Instead of increasing a power level, the game actually just straight up tells you, hey, I do more damage, use me. Very simplistic, and I like it. What does your gear rarity even do then? Well, depending on the gear rarity, you will get more perks on your weapons. Legendaries will have up to 3 perks, and these perks, while they are nice, didn't let that negate me from using the most powerful weapons. Hell, at the time of this recording, I still have purple and blue gear, and I am almost at level 50. Or, if it's a weapon type I don't care for, I won't use it for the extra 20 damage. This game really lets you play how you want, and it's nice to see that in an RPG looter. You're able to upgrade gear through the armory and even buy gear from your Godsmith. You can only upgrade the gear about 5 times, which is cool that shows you the limit, obviously. But one question I really have is, what am I supposed to do with all the DLC weapons I got when you get the Ultimate Edition? As those are just sitting in my inventory and you can't delete them. And I feel like upgrading them won't get anywhere because they all are at like 30 power. Very weird thing to make it so I have to keep them. And there's no changing look feature in this game either, which I thought would be a really cool thing. There are some weapons in here that look absolutely amazing. There's cosmetics that you can unlock for your sword or whatever your melee weapon is, but that's really about it. It's very, very limited. And while the designs do look good, there's only like 7 for each weapon. Really big shame. I wish there was like a change look option instead.
The heart of darkness shrouds the Earthrealm with corrupting night. Reality tears as the darkness spreads.
When it comes to RPG looter shooters like this, one of the biggest questions that people ask is, what's the endgame content like? Well, in the beginning of Godfall being released, apparently there was not a lot of endgame content. This is being filmed in 2022, and so far I'm pretty impressed with it. I think I touched everything that's available. You have so basically you have 2 options. It's the matchmaking realm, where you can do your ascended towers, which unlock cosmetics and gets harder and harder as you go through. It's basically a horde mode with each levels. As you go up the tower, it gets harder and harder. And honestly, I enjoy it. It's pretty fun, actually. It's Tyler's favorite thing to do. He only has access to the small one, obviously. He's not level 50 yet like me. And it is difficult. It's definitely challenging, and definitely do those with your friends. The other thing they have is basically in another realm, darkness is attacking the world, kind of like in the fire realm with the fire realm invading. And it's cool because the whole world is covered in darkness. Seven Sanctum is trying to stop the darkness. There's a giant dark heart in the sky. And you need to go around and basically create light that you can then aim at the heart and then get rid of the darkness in that realm area. It's fun, but it's also really, really difficult. I will absolutely say that. I gave it an attempt, and yeah, you need friends for that 100%. A lot of this endgame stuff really is like, yeah, you can do it solo if you're good enough, but if you're not, you're really gonna suffer. That's also including the spirit realm, which is basically you fight the bosses again, but they all have different niches that make them a lot more difficult. In this game, there's another vision, there's another mode, like there's another thing that they give you. It's like a spirit realm vision where you switch visions. You can attack enemies in the spirit realm or in the physical realm, and the bosses will shift between that with their minions, and you have to organize both that and the boss fight. Really difficult. I gave it a try and then gave up because I was like, okay, I need more people to help me with this. So when it comes to endgame content, honestly, there's a good chunk here. I don't think there's enough that would make you play this for like the next 4 months, but there is stuff to do for endgame, which is nice to see.
The day of your sacrifice has come.
There is only one DLC in Godfall, unfortunately, that I can tell of, and that is the Fire Realm. The Fire Realm plans on taking over after the defeat of Macros, led by a guy called Morax. This man is one of the bosses that actually pissed me off when it came to his boss fight. Highly recommend you do this one with friends. While I was able to beat it on my own, it came with a lot of heartbreak and drinking. Other than the new boss to the story, I will definitely say this is 10 times better story-wise. I was actually interested. I will try to avoid spoiling it here. Other than that, the DLC is more what we all loved in the story. A new realm, more of that God of War combat, and some new cosmetics. Overall, I preferred the DLC over the main story 100%. It's just going through the Fire Realm looking for Morax till you found him.
Orin, this is pointless. We both know how this is going to end.
It's time for your madness to end, brother.
I was never just your brother. I am your god.
You're no one, Macros.
So why did Godfall have so much hype, and once it was released, it seemed to have fallen in the forgotten game abyss? Well, judging from its reviews on Steam and websites, it was considered a very average game. Which I can agree with. I would even say slightly better than average, not pushing it too high up, maybe like a 3.4 out of 5 or anything like that. It's literally God of War 2018 set in the future with honestly badass looking armor. I love these armor designs. Like, they're the reason I keep playing. I really love the way they look. I wish we had more lore to this and all that. I want to know more. But this game does have problems, and I am not going to let the beautiful visuals in Unreal Engine 4 or the awesome combat blind me from them. Enemies are reused in each realm with a new look but function the same. But I really only see this in range units. Melee, for the most part, all look different. Hell, some of them even have 4 arms. The objective marker in the water realm sucks, and it doesn't show you the correct way to go, if it's up or down. And if you go near it, it will just move away, making you go back and forward. Tethers you have to destroy are sometimes invisible, which, if you aren't paying attention, can get you completely stuck, as it did for my friends. Some Valor plates do have the same type of abilities as others. For example, Winter's Howl and the Bug one both summon allies, and that's it. Spirit Vision is introduced in the story, but is never used unless you go into the Spirit Realm missions. But I don't believe this is a bad game, and honestly, I'm hoping for a sequel. With a little more polish, this could have been tremendous. So this game died out because of its repetitive, short story that isn't interesting. Gameplay is still up there, but it wasn't enough to keep this game mainstream. Also, I just learned this today as of recording. Apparently, they were selling this game. Not only was it a launch exclusive for the PlayStation 5, it was apparently $70 for the standard game. Don't buy this for $70. I got it as a $40 game, or was gifted to it. It was only $40. I thought that was the original price, which is why it felt more fair to me that these were the issues, or the length of it wasn't that long. So I thought $40 was a very fair price, so I didn't let that judge me so much. But hearing that it used to be $70, absolutely don't ever buy it for $70. It's not worth that. $40 seems to be the best pricing for that. My advice, if they were to make a new one, would be stop making your games epic exclusives. You literally killed your fucking sales.
Honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
bro,
why the fuck do you want to make it an epic
Epic
exclusive? This is
legitimately
why
just
no one heard of your
obliterates,
fucking
like,
game.
drops a bomb in
Like,
any
you
of
know,
Look at the sales
like,
numbers. You
market
guys fucking
brand
got
on
no
your
money
games
because
and your
it's a
company.
$40
You
game, goddammit. You
destroy
sold
any
it.
notoriety of your game
You
and
wanna
make
do
it
that
so
in the
nobody
first
ever hears of it by the time
Oh
it
my
releases
lord.
publicly.
For fuck's sake.